bit later than normal, 7:47. I'm trying to get on a little more of a sun is still up kind of schedule with the timings of these lifts. Just makes it a little easier to make sure well, I mean, really just fucking get to sleep on time. It's kind of half of it. But no, but it always kind of pulls me back because, I mean, the earlier you work out, the more crowded the gym kind of is, and it's like whatever, but there is a certain ambiance to like a late lift. And maybe not even late, just like when it's dark. I don't know, something about pure incandescent LED lights instead of natural sunlight. I know that sounds like a crazy thing to say, but I don't know. I think it's maybe just what I'm used to. I mean, even coming up, I'd say coming up, but when I would work out in high school, my schedule was school, come back, I do like a whole diving practice. That was kind of I think that was like a 4 o'clock to like 8 o'clock kind of thing, because it was like 30 minutes away. You're there for a while, and then I'd come back and lift. So that was usually 9:30 at the YMCA. That was back when it used to close at 11 every night. That's something that I do wish could come back. Frankly, the COVID hours hit us all pretty hard. I say us, I mean gyms. I mean, Planet Fitness no longer truly 24 hours. I mean, all sorts of other gyms shutting down early. Not cool, right? But that was, so that's kind of what I'm used to, more of just a later lift. And not only that, like the fact that I'm used to it, but also, I don't know, man, it's just nicer, like it, because if you wait that late to actually do your workout, like you're working out later in the day, 6 p.m. beyond-ish, then you've basically eaten all your meals for the day, and you've been moving around to the point where, like, I feel like just from life, you're kind of like warmed up. Like, you're not going to catch me do a 6 a.m. arm day. I mean, even right now that I'm dieted down, I'm not so concerned about making sure I eat 500 grams of carbs in the 3 pre-workout meals I had before I come to the lift. But there's a certain, like, I mean, right when I get out of bed, I don't want to just fucking load actual weights. And it just never really clicked with me. So if you're a diehard 6 a.m. pump addict, I'm not going to stop you. But I really do think lifting in the evening is a little bit more optimal. I mean, you got food in you, you're properly hydrated, you didn't just sit down for 6 hours or 8 hours or however long you slept, and then now you're suddenly jumping into action. But if it feels good for you, and that's what matches your routine, and that's what you can be the most consistent with, then don't listen to me. Say your argument, but then I get to be done with my workout first thing in the morning. I start every day with a W, so there's really no way to go down from there. And I do agree with that. So I get a little bit of a half and half. I get the cardio in the morning. But plan for today's arm day: push downs of a few varieties, some dip machine. That will be a little bit more squeezing focused. Maybe definitely some kind of something long head stretch overhead kind of activity. And after that, just a variety of curls, be it heavy nasty ones, lighter squeezing ones, maybe some half and half. It's we'll kind of see from there. But my approach on a set by set basis is make sure every set is adding to overall pump, fatigue, and then just kind of quality of the workout. So if I do a movement and like maybe I do a set of preachers and I say, I don't know if I really love the squeeze or the stretch or whatever, I'll move on to something I know I will like. And this gym's a little bit further away, so I haven't even drank the pre-workout yet. That'll probably be in a couple of minutes. But for you, let's just jump straight to set number 1. All right. So I've kind of a few more just like that. No reason to move on because Even if I did 4 more sets of these, I think it'd feel pretty good. But probably 2 more and then switch to some other something or other. Okay. One more, but gotta go a little lighter. That's getting a little too fucking heavy. But this feels really good though. One little form execution tip, which at least lets me feel my triceps more, is I'm not trying to just pull sideways. Like I'm not just trying to pull these handles of the rope apart this way. I'm almost trying to pull like, well, apart and back. So instead of like going here, which I end up feeling a lot of short end or short head of my delt, tricep I mean. But when I pull back and out, a lot more long head activation. So if you're fucking killing it with your push downs and you already feel that, keep doing it. But that's something which I've noticed helps my execution. Okay. So now, what would you do? Would you do seated dip machine next? Or easy bar push down? This was very squeeze focused. I think let's save push downs for after and do save dips for after. Move on to push down. This will be a heavy one, a little more fast pace. It's because I like a slow squeezing set like the push downs just were, but I also don't mind a heavier set or a lot of tension and I'm kind of pumping through reps, like not trash reps of course, but it's just a different rate of fatigue, you know? Like if I were to sit here and do a 2-second squeeze, 1-second hold, and like a 3-second eccentric, like I'm gonna get to failure rep-wise way quicker, right? I mean, I might only be able to do 10, but even though I could do 20 a little faster, I just like the different kind of approach, right? A slow squeezing one, some heavy faster ones, and it's just a different rate of kind of, really all I can say is it's just a different feeling. And that's what I'm aiming for. You know, I don't want to do every set absolutely the same. It just doesn't work, you know? Like you wouldn't want to roll up to a chest day and only do slow chest press, right? You got cable flies, you got different angles, you know, hit it as many fucking ways as you can. But let me get amped up. And I might just do one here. I'll see how good I can make it. Oh. Oh. Yeah. 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 Okay. One more. Then seated dip machines. I think that'll be a good progression. Okay. go. So this dip machine does have a belt, but it's been mangled, so I'm limited by physically how much weight I can push down. But I'm only doing half the stack because I want to make this a squeezing set. So that's the plan. Weight that's well within reason, and then a long hold, just like the dips. And that's what I was saying, why I didn't want to do these dips, or the rope. I don't want to do these dips right after the rope, because the basic rep speed scheme is the same. Like kind of a quick actual pushing down, a hold, and then a slow stretch. So I don't want to just do this right after rope. I feel like I'm doing the same set. So having those heavy push downs in the middle, I think is a good contrast. But let's get amped up and go nuts. Okay. Totally overestimated my strength. Gonna make it a drop set. Okay. Okay. I think that might be it. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think 45 might be the limit. That was a good set, but that was a little too heavy for that style.
I'm not done. I'm doing a little rest pause. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Whoa. Okay. I think that's enough dumbbell. Cable is kind of speaking to me. Let's go over there. You know what I mean? But he was a good bodybuilder, and he just didn't. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm not sure what I want to do next. Gotta think about it for a minute. Okay. I think I might actually just call it there. Let's find out. Either pose down or another set. I lied. One more try-by superset to totally finish off this arm day pump. So 10 5-ish sets of rope, pop a squat, curls, back and forth a few times, then go find some freaky ass lighting. So the point of this finisher, really just burn out and funnel as much blood as possible from the rest of my body directly in this region. So now all I gotta do is make it happen and get amped up to telekinesis. It's been a while since I listened to this. Okay. Let's find some lighting. All right, there we go. Some time has actually passed. Had a little bit of chatting action, which, I mean, as much as I love checking out an insane pump, you do gotta make sure to get some fucking gym intel when you're chatting around. That's a non-negligible part of your training and kind of the vibe. But let's see how arms are looking. I gotta get the measuring tape for next arm day, because technically they're gonna start shrinking, or they've already shrunk from like a month ago because I'm leaner. I don't have as thick of a fat layer kind of inflating the size of my biceps and my arms. As much as I like the, being able to say like, ooh, 20 inches and a quarter. If you got extra fluff because you're not lean, you kind of cheat the system. So, however big my arms are, unpumped in about a month when I'm leaner, that's my real value, whether I like it or not. So, I would love if that was 20 inches, but I think cold, I'm working with more like 19 and a half, something along those lines, which not bad by any means. God. So as I get leaner, this lat spread will also get freakier. And I referenced this a few times because the gap between delt and arm will get much more defined. Like this little shadowy section, a little soft. Fast forward 2 months when I got more kind of, shoulder striations all kind of bouncing around. That's when I'll have a much better glimpse of the real kind of musculature, right? Because beyond straight, getting dissected and basically peeled off, my best bet at actually seeing what my triceps look and my biceps and everything else, it's just peeling away that fat layer. So it's just skin saran wrapped over this bicep and seeing my, these like tricep separations and everything else. But I'd say that's a highly successful arm day. So now all I gotta do is keep doing those until the freak factor reaches its peak, which will take a few more weeks. And by a few more weeks, more like in the months kind of range. But that's the fun part, right? That's where your patience is going to come into play. Because frankly, it's not the easiest thing in the world to stay in a calorie deficit, especially if you're fucking, fiending for some treats. But I know the feeling of being diced, and I know that it's worth the uncomfortability of just chowing on like plain, less calorie dense foods for that greater kind of purpose. But arms complete. Get out of this thing, man. We're done. Arms complete. And now I get to go home knowing I had a good arm day, eat some food, go to sleep, and repeat with legs tomorrow. I'm gonna make sure I get some extra good rest since legs is gonna be a little bit trickier, right? A little bit more physically demanding, which that's just the nature of legs, man. I've tried splitting up quads and hamstrings into their own days, or like doing hamstrings with back, or then like letting me have a quad only day. It just doesn't work. That doesn't feel right. So maybe it's just a subjective thing. As long as you hit whatever muscles you're targeting, twice a week, that's what you're aiming for, right? That double a week frequency. But I don't think you can really get around to just having a regular, legit leg day. You're just kind of cheating the system, man. It's supposed to be hard, right? So I'll make sure I'm nice, well rested, well hydrated, give myself a good sized breakfast, lunch, and pre-dinner. I'll probably have another late-ish lift like that later in the evening at least, and then just go nuts. But actually, maybe not as nuts as I have been. Not to turn this into a leg talk, but I think I got to start doing a heavy quad day and then a lighter quad day. So maybe more so maybe more of a quad focused day, and then the next one be hamstring focused, just so I kind of don't overdo it with the pressing fatigue, because I just finished doing leg press and then leg press again pretty heavy the same just on that next leg day, and I could still feel some residual
quad fatigue, even though it had been 3 days since the last one. So all that's telling me is, all right, maybe we're overloading them just a touch too much, right? Which is not what I'm aiming for. I want to hit them as hard as I can, and then make sure the recovery is ample enough to come back and do the same thing. But in a calorie deficit, the recovery is simply not as insane. So I think that'll be a good little balancing act. Plus, goodness, it won't. I'm sorry. Plus, it won't be so hard on my knees. Right? I'll have one heavy kind of quad day, be it Smith squat, heavy leg press, whatever else. And then the next one, a little more leg extension, a bit lighter, kind of squeezing stuff, but maybe focus more so on some heavier RDLs. Right? Get some more posterior chain work going on. Maybe, not glutes and lower back, but mainly hamstrings. But so that would mean that tomorrow's leg day actually isn't going to be as crazy, at least pressing wise. And it'll be more so some squeezing, kind of a torturous leg extension in tandem with some hamstring curls and some RDL based kind of stuff. So that'll be good. That will be freaking good. But in terms of today's lift, honestly, bias is a little lackluster. Like, they were good, but I don't know. I think I might have actually been better off if I did 2 kind of more brutish sets rather than just starting with the light squeezing ones. Because it's like, with chest, even though sometimes I don't mind starting off with like a fly-based squeezing movement, it still has to be heavy enough to, kind of give me a certain like damage of fatigue that a light squeezing set doesn't exactly do. I think I kind of missed out on the heavy tension-based stuff for biceps today. So, I can't control my yawns here. But other than that, triceps was actually pretty good. Triceps was really good. With the rope, the push downs, that dip machine is just a little awkward for me specifically with the handles. I really like the more classic ones, like a lot of more commercial gyms with the rounded over handles. Makes it a lot more natural for me to press down on those for the dip machines. But that and the push downs plus that little superset finisher. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That makes it a good one. So ended up being a good finishing lift, or a good finishing set with that little superset. But now I'm ready to go back and eat. So plan for food tonight. I think I might do a breakfast for dinner. Here. I'm talking 50 grams of protein worth of eggs. So what I mean by that is not just a dozen whole eggs, probably 4 whole eggs, maybe just 3 whole eggs, right? Because each yolk's 5 grams of fats, which add up pretty quickly. So 3 whole eggs, and then the rest of the egg protein coming from the egg whites. That balances out a bit more nicely, to the point where I don't have if you had 10 whole eggs, that's almost 500 calories coming from fats, right? Whereas if you had 10 egg whites, that's basically 0. Egg whites don't really have any fat in them, and by any I mean like basically none. Quite the lean protein source. So just little things like that. Picking, eating foods in such a way that you're kind of backing off on some of the heftier, calorie intake side of things. Maybe next time you go to Subway, get the light mayonnaise. Right? Don't do double cheese. Pick the light barbecue sauce. Don't, get a diet soda instead of a regular. Honestly, all of those things really do add up. It kind of sucks that diet soda gets a bad rap. Like, some people actually, this is more of an urban legend kind of thing, but they'll go so far as to say diet soda actually makes you fatter than the whole sugar soda, because it, it's just not the same. I think it's fucking crazy. I'm not the biggest aspartame hater. I'm sure a lot of people say that they're a little bit sensitive to it. I personally can't feed into that agenda. I don't really notice a problem, but I'm kind of maybe I'm just not the pickiest, so maybe I just don't notice it makes me feel weird or anything. But as far as I'm concerned, freaking Sprite Zero will do me good. You know, if I've got a little bit of a hankering for some kind of treat, instead of going to the freezer, scooping out a couple scoops of ice cream, putting 300 calories into my system like nothing, having something like that kind of satiate your sweet tooth. Little things like that help. But we'll get into some more of that in more of a full day of eating type video, which is coming. Don't worry. But yeah, I gotta get home, get that meal down, and then go to sleep. It's 10:30 now, and I was in there talking for a while too. That was not a 2-hour lift, but yeah, I think I am ready for bed because I'm waking up early. I'm on a regular schedule. I'm talking sleeping during the nighttime, being awake during the daytime, which has not always been the case. But other than that, that's my goal. Good night's rest, stay in my deficit, have a crazy leg day tomorrow, and then just keep this routine looped until, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, I'm saying, oh, well, the striations on my left quad are actually more impressive than the whatever, and I'm excited for that part. So stay tuned. The leanness freak factor will only continue to increase as this calorie deficit trudges on. But until then, I'll see you for legs tomorrow.